Okay, evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Welcome to tonight's presentation. If you're watching and listening to this live, welcome. And if you're catching up with this, with the recording, hope you enjoy the presentation. And maybe you listen to this as one of your modules throughout the 12-week program. Whatever, I appreciate you being on the call. And tonight we're going to talk about self-limiting beliefs and the bullshit stories that we tell ourselves. Okay, now I want you to ask yourself if you've ever said these to yourself or a variation of these. Okay, I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. I know many people that have been on various diets, lost weight and gained it again. I often hear that in my inbox, my emails. I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. And I'll start straight off the bat. We know that isn't true because if you tried everything, you would lose weight. Simple as that. What that usually means is that people have tried quite a few things and they've tried things that don't work, or they've tried things they've not seen it through, or they've not had patience, or they've not had consistency, or they've just been following the wrong plan. But that's a very, very common self-limiting belief that a lot of people have. I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. Now, I've got a large frame. I hear this, I would say, on at least 50% of the initial call that I have with everyone before I bring them onto the program, particularly for men. Look, if a guy is 5'10" and he's 15 or 16 stone, or, well over 100 kilos, and maybe he should be 75, 80 kilos, unless he was extremely muscular and lean, he hasn't got a big frame. It's just one of these self-limited beliefs that people have. I'm used to being bulky. I've got a large frame. Very often, most people have got an average frame and they're just carrying a lot of body fat. Okay, it's genetic. Another big classic. I've got a good saying. It's not my saying, but it's one I'd like to subscribe to. Is genetics will load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. Okay, there is no doubt that some people have much better genetics than others. There's no doubt that some people are genetically predisposed to store more body fat, to have less muscle, to have a slightly slower metabolism. However, when people use that as a crutch, when they say it's my genetics that's stopping me losing weight, I know that it's bullshit. Okay, every single one of you can lose weight if you've got the right plan, if you're in a calorie deficit, if you follow the right ideas. Genetics may cause you to lose body fat quicker than the next person. Your genetics may cause you to lose body fat slightly slower than the next person, but you'll still lose body fat if you do the right things. I've got big bones, which kind of links to I've got a large frame, but it's often something I hear, and you may have used that yourself. It's not my fault. You can fill in any numerous amounts of bullshit beliefs and excuses, and I don't have time, which is a classic. Here's the thing. We've all got 7 days a week, and we've all got 24 hours in those 7 days. We've all got the same amount of time. And you know as well as I do, you make time for the things that are important. So I don't care if a businessman or woman is working 16 hours a day, international travel, there is always time to do the things that you care about. And what it basically means when someone says, I don't have time, if you find yourself ever saying, I don't have time, what that means is you don't have time to dedicate a portion of your day towards what you're trying to do. So if you ever find yourself saying, I don't have time to exercise, that's bad planning, because you've always got time to do the things that mean something to you. And we go on. I don't deserve to lose weight. This is very, very common, particularly with people that have been overweight for a long time and have struggled with their self-image. For some of you listening to this, that might be, well, why would you not deserve to lose weight? Of course, we all deserve to lose weight. Now, if you've got a healthy mindset around your body image, your self-esteem, you know that you're not meant to be overweight. You're not meant to be carrying excess body weight. But a lot of people that their self-esteem is battered down for a number of reasons, maybe from childhood, from parents, from abusive relationships, whatever. A lot of people are in a position where they just think, you know what, I don't deserve to lose weight. Maybe I'm meant to be fat. Maybe this is my lot. And that's just not true, because you gained the weight, which means you can lose the weight. So you absolutely deserve to be where you want to be. And there's no reason why you can't get there. I'm happy as I am is another bullshit excuse. You're not happy. You might pretend to be the jovial, overweight person. Now, I speak to so many people that have got a lot of weight to lose. So, you know what? I don't really mind being overweight. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it. It's bollocks. I'm not expecting any of you to be bikini models or to be on the cover of Men's Health. That's not the goal for most people, although it could be. And if that's the goal, great, we can get you there. But the average person, 99% of the population, is never going to be that person, that guy, that girl. And it's not even the goal. But to say you're happy as you are, that's not to say that you can't have a few extra pounds and be happy. You absolutely can. I'm not saying that losing weight suddenly makes you happy. But it's when people use that as an excuse to stay the same. That's when I call bullshit on it. And I'll call you out on it. If I hear you say it, I'm going to say that's bullshit. I don't mind being overweight that much. Again, another lie that people tell themselves. They do mind being overweight. And again, if we take it back to society, I think society puts too much pressure on a lot of people to be a perfect size, whatever that is, 8 or 10, whatever a lot of women want to be. Reality is, how many women do you know are actually a true size 8? Not that many. How many guys do you know have got a ripped six-pack? Not that many. Okay, but we all want to lose a few pounds, be in shape, be the best version of us that we can be. And everyone's got a different starting point. You're all going to have a different end point. And another classic that I hear all the time, as long as I have my health, I'm okay being fat. Now, that's a bit of a sort of paradox in itself, isn't it? As long as I have my health, I'm okay being fat. You can be a little bit overweight and still be fairly healthy. If you're obese, you're not healthy. You can be fit. There's a difference. You can be aerobically fit, as in you can go and run 10K or even a marathon. Maybe not a marathon, but 10K, 5K for sure. Play five-a-side football, play sport with the guys, with the girls. Absolutely, you can do that. But you will not be healthy if you've got over a certain amount of body fat. Now, I don't know what that is. If you're 10 pounds overweight, that's not a problem. 20 pounds, maybe okay. But when you start getting to 20, 30, 40 pounds and above, that's when the health implications happen. Now, you can be fit, but you're certainly not healthy. Now, there's not one, I'll rephrase that. Nearly all of the degenerative diseases that we succumb to as a human being are exacerbated by having excess weight. And let's look at the current climate with COVID, Corona. A lot of the people that have had the most ill side effects, been very, very ill or have died, apart from being elderly, tend to have been the people that are overweight. Immune system. Overweight people get more cancer. They get more diabetes. They get more arthritis. They get all health conditions that we die. And most of us die from, 9 out of 10 of us die from a degenerative disease. My aim is for you guys to get into the shape that you want, deserve, know that you can get there, and obviously improve your health at the same time. So don't fall for the bullshit excuses. They're bullshit excuses. If you've said any one of these, it's not true. There you go. It's all bullshit. Have I said bullshit enough? I found that picture on, I don't even know if it's shit from a bull, but it looks pretty disgusting. Don't believe it. Okay. And this is what happens when you tell yourself these stories. What happens is you end up fulfilling what I call the self-fulfilling prophecy. And this is how you prove to yourself that you can't actually achieve what you want to do. Let's say someone goes on a diet, and hands up, and obviously I can't see you, but hands up if you've been on a diet at some point in your life. And if you're watching, listening to this presentation, all of you should have raised your hands. We all have. We've all tried to do something. Let's say someone tries to go on a diet and they try something and fail. And I put fail in bracket in with inverted commas because you haven't failed. You've just found a way that doesn't work. You only fail if you quit entirely. But let's say you try something, you fail, as in, you lose a few pounds and it doesn't work. Whether you stopped or you followed a bullshit plan or you had no consistency or you just couldn't maintain it. So you failed in your head. So you tell yourself, I can't do that. Okay. Whenever you find yourself saying, I can't do that, you know there's going to be problems, going to be issues. So you've given yourself proof. You've given yourself evidence. Okay. So then you try again. It doesn't work. And you give yourself more evidence. And then the self-limiting beliefs. See, I told you so. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't lose weight. I don't deserve it. All these things start coming in. But now you've given yourself evidence, because many people, and particularly women, again, not being sexist, just being real. The ladies that I speak to, and most of you that are coming to the program, have told me that you've been on maybe 5, 6, 7, even more diets. You've been dieting one way or another for most of your life, trying to lose weight. You've tried a lot of things. And every time that you've tried something, it's not worked, you've kind of convinced yourself, I can't lose weight. It doesn't work for me. I've got evidence. And someone says, well, how do I know it doesn't work for you? So, well, I tried this. It didn't work. It failed. I've tried everything. Nothing works. And you see that vicious cycle goes over and over and over again. So that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, the gentleman on the right being interviewed there, you can't really see him very well because the word believe is over him, is a guy called Wayne Dyer. Unfortunately, he's dead. He's dead now. I was going to say dead at the moment. He's dead all the moments, but he's dead. He's dead now. Died a few years ago. But he said this brilliant quote, and there's been various variations of this over the years, but I love this. You don't believe what you see what you believe. Think about that. Okay, so everything that you believe, that will give you the version of life that you actually see. So it's your beliefs create your vision, not the other way around. You don't see something, believe it. You don't. That's not how we work. You see what you believe. So your self-fulfilling prophecy or your self-linked beliefs, the things that you believe to be true, the story, the bullshit story that goes over and over again in your head. And this stuff often has been drilled in since childhood, from school, maybe an experience, how you've been brought up, all the environment from the first, certainly for the first 7 years of our life, those formative years, our personality is drilled into us, parents, education, school. You see what you believe. So if you've got a certain set of beliefs, if you believe that you can't lose weight, guess what? You're going to really struggle to lose weight. If you believe you can lose weight, you're going to have a much higher chance of losing weight. You've still got to find the right plan. But if you don't believe that you can't, if you believe that you can't lose weight, you're going to really struggle, because you're always going to find evidence as to why it doesn't work. You'll try something, you'll give up, you'll fail, and then you've given yourself that proof. It's very, very powerful. So mindset. And for a lot of you, the psychological aspect of losing body fat is going to be the most important area you need to work on. You still need to work on the plan. You still need to follow your macros. You still need to be in a calorie deficit. All these things that we've talked about and the coaching in the modules, absolutely. But your mindset and your belief around whether you can actually achieve the result is going to be a massive factor for all of you. So think about that. You don't believe what you see what you believe. And I talked about this programming, and very often it goes back to when we were a child, how we've been brought up, the schooling, the education we've been given. So, your parents have got a lot to answer for, but we can't change what's gone on. We can definitely affect the environment that we're in now. So the programming is I put the picture there of the record, because it's this. Some people keep playing the same record over and over again, expecting a different result. You have to change the record. You have to change your crew. And I mean the people you hang around with. If you're very, very overweight and you hang around with overweight people that go to the pub all the time and eat crap food all the time and don't exercise all the time, or at all rather, it's very hard to break free of that crew, of your environment, and act and be like a person that goes to the gym a lot and eats well and is mindful of the alcohol they have. It's hard. It's not impossible. It's very, very hard. You've got to change your crew. And I'm not saying don't hang out with your fat friends. That's not what I'm saying. But maybe you need to limit your exposure. Start hanging around with people that have got what you want to achieve. If you want to be someone that is fit, healthy, and lose weight, you need to surround yourself with those type of people if you can. So it might, if someone is hanging around with very, very negative people and people that are just not on your wavelength, if this coaching program that you're on now is, if you've turned a corner and say, you know what, I need to really change some my habits, some of my ways, some of my thoughts, it may need a whole new thinking pattern around the people you hang around with. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying just ditch all your friends that aren't into the gym. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just being mindful of that. Now, you can read, watch, listen, and learn. There's unlimited resources on the internet, Audible, books. You know, we can get hundreds of books on every single topic in the world, literally delivered the next day on Amazon. So if you want to learn about health and fitness and fat loss and all the things that we're talking about, you can get a book which would supplement what we're doing already. You can watch stuff on the internet. You can watch YouTube. There's a lot of crap on there, but there's also lots of amazing stuff. You can listen. You can learn. You're on this coaching program. You're learning. You're learning from me. You're learning from others. You're watching the modules. You're immersing yourself in this. And that's the way to change that programming. And that's why I say to everyone, when things are going bad, turn up to the group coaching calls, because that's when the breakthroughs happen. Okay. Get a coach. I'll put a smiley face next to that. Obviously, I'm going to say that, but you already, if you're listening to this module, you've got a coach. I'm helping you on this journey, but it's the way to accelerate everything. You're already, by being on these coaching calls, you're hanging around people. You've changed your crew. You're going to be on the call with 10 to 15 people sometimes, with people that want to lose fat, are into the gym, or at least into going for walks, running, swimming, getting healthy, exercising mindset. That's how you change your programming. And here's a big thing. Don't believe everything you think. It's usually not the truth. And this kind of links back to the, you know, you see what you believe. You don't believe what you see. Don't believe everything you think, or at least question some of the thoughts that come into your head. Don't take that as gospel, because a lot of it comes from our programming, you know, and this not only works or is relatable to weight loss and what we're trying to do, works for every area of your life. People have got self-limiting beliefs around money, who they should be, who they are as a person, maybe family, husband, wife, relationships, partners. Everyone's got these self-limiting beliefs. So don't believe everything you think. Question it. If you thought pops up, say, well, is that true? Is that actually the truth? Do I know that to be true? And I'm going to talk about that as we go further on. And there's a classic quote from a mentor of mine, a big fan of that guy, a guy called Jim Rohn. Again, unfortunately, he's dead, but he's more of an old school guy, was massive in the 70s, 80s and 90s, in the 2000s, not so much. But he's one of the old philosophers, an American guy, and some of his Audible, some of his videos and tapes, some of the best personal development. But he said, and there's been a lot of people that have said similar things, but you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, it's not a scientific fact that it's 5. It could be 4, it could be 6. But the philosophy, the idea around that is true. If you hang around with very negative people that are telling you you'll never lose weight and all they do is eat and drink crap, you're going to find it very, very hard to shake that off. I can tell you this. If you hang around people that have lost weight, feel good, are energized, exercise a couple of times a week, are healthy, they like eating good quality food, you still have to do the things that they're doing to get the same results, the results that you want, that they're achieving. But can you see how the people you hang around with massively affect your thought process, your beliefs, and the actions that you'll take? Let's flip this to money. Money's a big area, and it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, isn't it? And I'm going to use myself as an example. I've had a very strange relationship with money. I've been very, very good at making money, but I've had some very strange ideas around saving it. However much money I've always made, I've always managed to spend a little bit more. And that's gone up over the last 10 years. The last 2 or 3 years, I've got a grip of this, but it's taken me a long time to really get that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's come from some of the self-limiting beliefs that my parents instilled in me. If I think about it, and they'll never hear this module, but they give me some very weird ideas around money. We didn't have a lot of money. We weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot of money. And I would always hear my mum and dad saying, Gav, money doesn't grow on trees. Some people have got money, some people haven't got money. We're the ones that haven't got money. So I had a lot of this like working class, we're working class, you'll never be more than you can be, that attitude. That all stuck with me. So I know back in my 20s and early 30s, whenever I got a chunk of money, I had to spend it. If I made $5,000, which I didn't back in my early 20s, I'd go and spend 6. If I made 10, I'd go and spend 12. I was always in debt for my 20s and 30s, however much I earned. And some months I would earn not much, but I would only just spend a little bit more. Isn't that interesting? However much you earn, if you don't get a grip of this, and, my mum and dad never taught me to save. That just wasn't a conversation because they didn't have any money. And look at my mum and dad now. I mean, love them, but they haven't got a bloody pot to piss in. So a lot of these things have been taught to me. So taking it back to weight loss, if you've come from a family that have always been overweight, eat crappy food, had no real knowledge around nutrition, no real knowledge around exercise and how important it is, and instilled ideas, well, it's genetic, it's your big bones, you can't help it, we've always been fat, all the ladies in the family are fat, it's just something you have to live with. If those things have been drummed into you, you can see how very hard, how hard it could be to shake. That could be you listening to this program, to this presentation. So think about that. Think about upgrading the people you hang around with. And definitely, and again, I'm not saying get rid of your overweight friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying get rid of your negative friends. And because most of them tend to be the people we hang around with, our best friends and even our family and parents to a certain extent. I'm saying maybe think about limiting the exposure and upgrading different areas of your life that are important to you. Hope that makes sense. Okay, last couple of slides, guys. Now, this lady, you may have heard of her. She's called Byron Katie. Now, I know that you kind of want to say her name back to front. You always think her name should be Katie Byron, but her name is Byron Katie. And she's got a great book called Loving What Is. Now, I suggest all of you check this book out. Ladies, it will probably appeal more to you than it would the gents, but gents, I got a lot from this book. And her philosophy is around what she calls the work. And she asks 4 questions. So whenever you think something is a fact, like I can't lose weight, whatever I try, let's say that, she says, ask yourself these 4 questions. And it's simple as this. You literally ask yourself these questions. Is it true? Now, most people, if they believe something to be true, if the question is it true, they say yes. So can you lose weight? Can I lose weight wherever I try? And you go, is it true? And you'd say yes. Then you go, can you absolutely know that it's true? And sometimes even by asking that second question, people think, okay, maybe it's not true. So already they've turned that self-limiting belief and they're starting to question it. But let's say you say, can you know it's true? And you say, yes. Okay, move on to the next question. How do you react when you believe that thought? So what happens? What actions do you take? Okay, so what I want you to do, guys, is actually think of something that you believe to be true right now and actually do these questions with me. So how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? What do you do when you believe that you can't lose weight or you can't do this or can't do that? The 4th question is, who would you be without that thought? There's actually a spelling mistake there. I put though. Should be a T on the end of that. Who would you be without that thought? Okay, who would you be without that thought? So if you didn't have the thought that I can't lose weight, who would you be? Would you be a better person? Would you have more, what would you be thinking? This is something to think about. So this is a very, very powerful process of questions. Now, the second part of this is you turn it around. You turn around the question that you asked. Is the opposite as true or truer than the original thought? So to go back to this, is it true? You flip that around and say, it's not true. Then how would you react to that? So it's a really good process of doing it. Now, I've just touched on that, but what I would do, guys, is if you're thinking of looking into this more, check out Byron Katie. Go and check out her book, Loving What Is the Work. And she's changed so many lives with this process. There's been people that have been really suicidal, depressed, overweight, struggling in an area of their life. And just by 4 simple questions and then turning it around, they've massively changed their life. Turn it around. Is the opposite is true or truer than the original thought? Hope that helps. So a little bit on goal setting, because this kind of links back into those self-limiting beliefs and self-fulfilling prophecy. Without the goal setting, those self-limiting beliefs can really take hold. So if you notice throughout the whole of our process, when you came into the program, I asked, what are the goals? Then in module 1, I tell you to set your goal. And I'm always asking you, what are your goals? Set the goal, set it high, set the goal high, but believe you can achieve it. Now, all of you, I want you to put that goal a little bit out of reach. You know what? Let's say you think you want to lose 30 pounds, but deep down you think, I can't lose that. I'm never going to lose that. Set the goal at 30 pounds. Okay. And write the goal down. I weigh your target, 30 pounds less, or your actual weight on, and then set the date. Then all you've got to do is take action on that goal every day. And that means doing your exercise, hitting your macros, getting your protein. Let's say you set a goal, in 12 weeks' time, say you join the program 1st of September, 12 weeks' time, September, October, November, the beginning of December, or it actually be the end of December. You would then say, have I achieved that goal? Did I lose 30 pounds? Let's say you lost 23 pounds. You haven't failed. You've done the best you can in that 3-month time period. So you change the end date, never the goal. You don't say, well, I'll settle for 23 pounds. No, the goal's 30 pounds. You just change the end date. You push it back. That's what you do. So always keep the goal if it's important to you and change the date. And I'll finish with this slide. You only fail when you quit. So don't quit. And this is relevant for everything in life, whether you're trying to lose body fat, relationships, making money, business. You haven't tried everything, because if you did, you would have found a result. You would have got the result you wanted. You'll only fail in this program, linking it back to what we're doing, is if you quit. Now, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where you say, this isn't working, or it's not working for me. It will work every time, but I guarantee this, if you quit, and there's always a couple of people in this program that don't get to the end of their 12 weeks for one reason or another. And they definitely, when they quit, they will fail. They won't get the result they want. The only way that you won't get the result you want is if you don't see this 12 weeks through. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Thanks for listening to the presentation. Hope you enjoyed this, whether you're watching this live or in your modules. And I will see you on the next training. Thank you.